I'm at Ribbonwood Nurseries in Dunedin with the owner, Phil Dunn. Phil, how long have you been running the nursery here?
We've been growing native plants here for about the last 40 years.
And what sort of plant mix do you propagate?
We grow entirely New Zealand natives for a variety of purposes. So for the restoration and re-veg type plantings, we just use locally sourced seed, occasionally cuttings, but mostly almost all seed. We grow for the home market, home gardeners, for landscapers, and for that we use a variety of native plants. Some cultivated varieties, so-called cultivars, some that are just regionally not here, but maybe from other parts of the country, North Island, Northland, even offshore islands like from the Three Kings. There's a few interesting plants from there, so in the Chatham. So there's quite a diversity. So we're not purist in that sense, but in terms of our restoration planting, yeah, we're very careful that we collect within this local Otago region.
Have you seen much change in demand for natives since you've been running the business here?
We've seen a huge increase. When we first began, it was native plants were not widely planted by home gardeners. There was very little in the way in restoration type projects happening, if any. So last 10 years, but particularly the last 5 years or so, there's been a huge increase and particularly in that section of the market, the restoration market, but even amongst landscapers and home gardeners, just appreciation of some of the uniqueness of New Zealand plants, the fact that we've spent a long time knocking them down and bringing in exotic plants and valuing them more, for some reason, more highly than natives. That has changed, almost really been turned on its head in the last few years. So it's just great to see New Zealand plants being recognised and planted a whole lot more than they were.
Yes, it is good. I'm pleased to be involved as well. Well, let's. Can we take a quick tour of the nursery and you can show us around and,
sure.
and what you're growing?
Yep, we'll do.
Thanks. So, what do we have here, Phil?
This is one of our propagating houses where we propagate from cuttings, and particularly some of the cultivated varieties and things. Effectively, these are clones of the parent plant. They're grown from cuttings. They're genetically identical. So, for when there's a plant which has a distinctive feature that we're trying to continue, then we'll propagate it this way. Most of our restoration type plantings are done from seed, though.
And are these seedling propagated plants?
Yeah, these are all some of our seed trays. Come on varying stages and ages. Here, from this stage, we will pick them out into a smaller container and then bag them on into bigger bags of pots. So, pretty much the start of the process here.
So, were these propagated this year? Were they?
Some of these will be this year. A lot of this will be from last year as well. So, some stuff takes months, sometimes a year to actually germinate. Some things really are quite slow. So, we hang on to our trays for quite a while. And we don't sort of give up when nothing comes up immediately, because sometimes things just do take a while. So. Some of these trays are between a few months to a year or two even old.
Okay. Yeah, it's a lot warmer in here than outside, even though it's not really cold outside,
It's not a sunny day, but it still warms up a lot,
Yeah.
And the doors have been open, so it just speeds things up, shortens the growing time a bit for us, and means we can get them to a marketable size more quickly, really.
So are some of these going to be for me?
There's totara actually, where the grows. Thought a few totara would be nice to have.
Yeah, it would be nice.
Just put in the mix. My aim is having as big a diversity as possible, and the bigger plant diversity you got, the bigger diversity of animals, birds.
Yes.
That you have. So,
yeah, we talked mostly about manuka and kanuka, but I think having that diversity is going to be really nice there.
I think there's a failing of a lot of re-veg schemes. They are up and down the country. They focus on very few species, probably often like 5 or 6 species that are easy to grow, quick to grow. And people think, we'll shove these in, which is fine initially, but if you don't come back and add anything else, you finish up with a very, very restricted plant numbers.
We are going to be planting nurse trees there. on 3-metre centres. What's the purpose of those nurse trees?
I think the purpose is to provide some protection for the Kauri trees, but also just add to the general biodiversity of the area. Really, it looks nicer, it has more wildlife values, have more species in it, so it'll give a more natural looking forest. Yes, this is some general veg stuff. I've got some broadleaf, some cabbage trees here, potatoes.
Yeah.
One of the carnies over there. We are going to try a few nights on your place, so this is in here. Just starting to put it in into January, so they're starting to, you're getting a few roots out the bottom, they're starting to get going. They're quite quick. They don't like massive frost, so it'll be interesting. We didn't do a lot, but it'll be interesting to see how they go.
I'd like to thank Phil Dunn for his time and for showing me around the nursery. It was great to see some of the plants that will be going into the ground this spring at Taieri Beach. If you enjoy the content and want to follow this unique project, please like and subscribe. I'll be making more videos over the coming months and years to record the progress of this unique project. Thanks for watching.